Let's begin now. Perek Lamed Tet, pasuk Chuf, and we're going to learn till pasuk Chuf gimmel. In your Tagilon, it's on page 66 and 67. Please write it down as we work on it. And I'm going to ask you to reading masters them. It's only 4 pasukim, and we could do this. It's the end of the perek. We're going to learn in Mir Tashem, also in this video, 1 Rashi on pasuk Chuf Aleph. And we're going to point out some things as we always do. Here we go. Pasuk Chuf, Vayikach es Adonai Yosef ito. And Yosef's master took him with him. Vayitneu el beit hasoar. And he put him into the jail. Makom, the place. Asher asirei hamelech asurim. That the criminals to the king were locked up. Like matir asurim is that the bracha that we can move. Right? They're locked up. Asur is to be tied up. So makom asher asirei hamelech asurim. The place, I'm just reading it over, the place that the criminals of the king were locked up, asurim locked up. Vayihi sham bebeit hasoar, and he was there in the jail. We have a question to ask you. Why do you think, I'll ask you in the Shobi, why do you think in this pasuk it says that he was in the place of the criminals of the king, the criminals to the king? Why not say just he was in the jail? Who cares that he was the criminals of the king that were there? Okay, pasuk Chaf Aleph. Vayihi Hashem et Yosef, and Hashem was with Yosef. So here we have the word et sometimes means nothing. Usually when it's on its own it means nothing. But the word et often means with. By the way, if you think about it, itcha is ito. Look in pasuk Chaf, line 1. Ito, with him, with, that is aleph taf, that's et really. Itcha, with you. So et alone also could just mean with. So Vayi Hashem et Yosef, and Hashem was with Yosef. Vayet elav chesed, and he turned kindness towards him. Vayiten chino be'enei, and he put his favor be'enei Sar Beit Hasoar, into the chief of the jail warden, the chief of the jail. What is he? He put his favor in him. He looked at Yosef and he liked him. Okay. Now, before we learn the Rashi on pasuk Chaf Aleph, I want to ask you a trivia question. Who is the first person in the Torah that is described as having chen? Think about the first person. Who is the first person in all the Torah who has chen? And I'll tell you something interesting. The person, you'll see what I mean if you figure it out, and maybe it'll help you figure it out. The person's name, whole name, you could see has to do with chen. After you get it, you'll understand what I'm saying. The person's whole name has to do with chen. Okay, let's see the Rashi now. In your Tagilon, it's on page 63. Divrei Matchil, Vayet elav chesed. So, and he put kindness towards him. What does it mean that Hashem put kindness towards him? So Rashi is going to explain. Shehaya, I do want you to write in your Tagilon, please fill it out on page 63 and write it out. You see how it says Ktav, what that paragraph means on that line, you should write it out in script, in the way that you normally write Hebrew. Okay, so I want you to practice the Rashi reading. I can't hear you reading the Rashi, but at least if you're writing it over, I'll know that you're practicing your Rashi reading, your Rashi letters. Shahaya, that he was mikubal, accepted, well liked, lichol, to all, ro'av, who saw him. Ra'ah, reish aleph hey is see, vav at the end is him, ro'av, all who saw him. So who was it? Mi haya makubal l'chol ro'av. What's the question? Who was accepted to all who saw him? I'm going to leave that for you to fill out. That's what the question means on the bottom. Okay, let's return now to page 67. Pasuk Chaf Bet. Vayiten sar beit hasoar biyad Yosef. And the chief of the jail put in the hand of Yosef et kol ha'asirim, all of those jailed, locked up, asher bebeit hasoar, that were in the jail. The et kol asher osim sham, and everything that was happened there, hu haya oseh, he would do. In other words, Yosef was in charge. All the things that had to happen, Yosef was the one in charge of the jail. By the way, before we go to Pasuk gimmel, there's just a good picture of the Tagilon, just to give you a feeling of the jail, of Potiphar bringing Yosef to the jail. It's on page 62. You'll see, and it also says how many years Yosef was in this jail for. It's like seriously a long time, like from first grade till you're finished high school. That's how long. Feels also like a jail, whatever. But like, Yosef was there with much worse type of jail. No recess, by the way. No recess. No roof. Okay, page 62. Page 60, Chaf gimmel, page 67. Final pasuk of the perek. Ein sar beit hasoar, the chief of the warden of the jail, Ein sar beit hasoar, the chief of the Jordan didn't, ro'eh et kol mu'uma biyado, didn't oversee anything that was in his hands. Didn't oversee anything that was in his hands, in Yosef's hands. Ba'asher Hashem ito, because Hashem was with him. With who? Who's him? Yosef. Hashem was with Yosef. Va'asher hu oseh Hashem matzliach, and that which he did, va'asher, and that which he did, hu va'asher, and that hu oseh, he did, Hashem matzliach, Hashem made it successful. In other words, Yosef took all that success that he had in the Beit Potiphar and he brought it with him to the jail. Everything he did was successful. If you notice, an amazing point, the Targilon actually points this out. I'm pretty impressed with them over here, page 65, that you'll see Yosef had like a bracha coming to him of the question is just wherever he would be. The bracha is, they point out three things. It says Hashem made him matzliach. He was a person who was matzliach. Both in the house of Potiphar, it describes it in that way in Pasuk Bet and in Pasuk Chaf Gimel. It also says that he found chen in the eyes of all that saw him in the house of Potiphar, and over here again in the jail, the head of the chief of the Beis HaSohar he found chen in his eyes. And both Potiphar and the jail warden did the same thing. They was a servant, or he was in jail, and they gave over to Yosef. They put him in charge of everything. Right? In Pasuk Dalet, it said, Vayifgedehu al beito, and he appointed him on his house, V'chol yeshlo natan biyado, and everything that he had, he gave into his hands. And here in the jail also, Vayitin sar beit hasoar biyad Yosef, and the chief warden is the person in charge of a jail, he gave into the hands of Yosef et kol ha'asirim, all those who were jailed. And that is the end of the perek.